another very strong area of patriarchal influence, which is the whole medical system. We will try and understand why we are calling it a patriarchal institution, and I will and after I translate this, I will then introduce the panelists. इस पैनल में जहाँ पे हम लोग बैठे हैं अभी, हम एक और पितृसत्तात्मक ढांचे की बात हम कर रहे हैं, जो पूरा मेडिकल सिस्टम जो कहते हैं, उसमें वहां पे भी हम लोग शामिल हैं। और इस पैनल में हम कोशिश करेंगे समझने के लिए कि इस पितृसत्तात्मक संस्था में क्या क्या बातें होती है, क्या क्या चीजें होती है, जिनसे औरतों को अपने हकों को देना और हकों से परे भी करते हैं। तो वो हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। आई एम हैप्पी टू इंट्रोड्यूस द पैनल. Dr. Renu Arora will start the discussion, and then Dr. Angela Aneja will continue the discussion. So she will talk, and then she will present a PowerPoint, and we will try to bring these questions back. We're going to try and stick with 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, so that we can leave the room then open for questions. तो 5 या 7 मिनट में 7-8 मिनट में कोशिश करेंगे कि इस पैनल को हम समाप्त इस तरह से करें ताकि आपके सवाल जवाब जो है उसके बाद हम वहाँ पे जा सकते हैं। तो डॉक्टर रेणु अरोड़ा शुरू करेंगे।
Good afternoon. So I actually happened to be from the hospital where this patient victim Jyoti was examined, and she was initially taken care of at Safdarjung Hospital. And I just wanted to tell you that medical profession, medical or the doctors, they play a very important role in bridging the gap. This is an important gap where where the accident has occurred or where the victim has had a sexual assault, and then as a evidence collection and then presenting this evidences to a judge. So this is a very important aspect, and all doctors are very sensitive about taking this about collecting the evidence and collecting the reports. As far as where are we concerned is, as far as doctors are concerned, they are not only for educating, they have to take first emergent care also. They are first, whenever a victim comes to us, we have to give them the care which we feel is important at that time. Prior to collection of evidence, we have to give them emergent care. Suppose patient is in shock, we have to deal with that situation. Then collection of evidences. Thereafter, giving them the prophylaxis and compiling all the evidences that we have collected and giving it to and sending it to a proper chain. That is, we submit those evidences to the police constable and we do record all these findings. In Safdarjung Hospital for last 3-4 years, we have a room which has been identified. This was following a High Court judgment that we all need to have a separate room. And the doctor who is sitting there round the clock, that's a 24 hours clock, they will attend to that patient as and then women arrives. And examination or collection of evidence and recording of everything, this takes around an hour. Around for this hour, this doctor will be relieved for other duties. She will only be attending to this patient, take this patient to a separate room. And in that separate room, we have everything which is, she does not need to go out. We have a special kit and we have everything which she requires for collection of the evidence, and even we record all the findings in the proforma which has been designated, though now this proforma might be changed slightly. So, and these residents, because these residents keep on changing every now and then, we do not want, because suppose they go to this room after about 1 year or so, so there is a routine that prior to they are posted in this shift duties, we take their classes. We teach them how to examine. One of the faculty members who are identified as a nodal officer by the government, so they will take their classes and how to conduct the examination. Apart from this, a protocol and the guidelines are all kept in a cupboard near to her. Suppose if she misses something, she can definitely record and she can go back to this and she can record the finding. I think this is how we are working in this, and we have a good number of cases on the clock, and around 100 or 120 in a year. But most of the women, what I find was the problem was like women, they come after a bit long time. A long time is lapsed before they come to our hospital. And as usual, the turn is if they have this bad experience, then they definitely change their clothes if they are torn. They will change their clothes, they will wash, and then they will come back to us. Which, doing this, they really lose a very important evidence, so which we are supposed to collect. So that also an information that also I think should go down to the women in case such a thing is there. They should rather not change, and they should come in the same clothes. They can just cover themselves up with a comfortable clothes and then come to the hospital. And one thing which I am supposed to speak about is two-finger test. Actually, in a medical fraternity, there is no test as a two-finger test. Whatever is a misnomer which has been misused, we call it a per vaginum test. In a per vaginum test, it is a test where we do introduce fingers, but we inspect internal organs and we feel if there is some pathology or उसमें कुछ internal organs में कुछ problem है, कुछ कोई बड़ा है या कुछ ovaries में या uterus में problem है. They are not an admissibility test to check for whether the vagina is patent or not. They are not the admissibility test. They are to check whether uterus is normal or ovaries are normal, or if there is any defect where. So these are the part of medical examination, not as an admissible test. As I was asked to speak about it, so I thought this is a better opportunity. Okay, I think this is what I'm done. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, if you could add कि औरतों को पता हो या लड़कियों को पता हो, क्योंकि लड़कियों के साथ भी काफी हिंसा होती है, so कि औरतों को लड़कियों को पता हो कि किस तरह से अपने आप को प्रेजेंट करें ताकि वो एविडेंस डिस्ट्रॉय ना हो. तो अगर आप थोड़ा इसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं.
जैसे ये एविडेंस में उन्हें जाके वॉश वगैरह करने से पहले ही उन्हें हॉस्पिटल में आ जाना चाहिए, और whichever if they feel that they need to go to the duty constable or nearby police station, तो वो जो भी है, but rather than changing they should come straight. तो अगर कोई कपड़े फटे हुए हैं या जो जैसे भी हैं और उसमें जो भी मिट्टी के निशान है या जिस भी दाग का निशान है वो वैसे के वैसे ही आना चाहिए. So whatever are the spots or whatever are the stains on the body or over the clothes, they should come like that only to the hospital after covering them up. So that gives us a very good, we can collect them and give it. Yeah, rather than taking bath, they will be losing their bath.
Or if you change, at least bring those clothes.
It's also going to be in the new bill which they are debating just now in Parliament. They are debating just now in the all-party meeting. That's also an issue that has come up about private and public hospitals and their responsibility. So it will be good to hear from you on your public, your private hospitals.
Being brought to our hospitals. They go to the designated government hospitals till now. It's not that we can't take care of them. It's a woman, and most of the North India, I will say, most of the gynecologists are women. It's not, they're not brought to us. They come to us once they got an MLC done in one of the government designated hospital, and then they come to us for a treatment, the further follow-up. So whatever the government policies will change, and definitely they will change for the good, and we are there to take care of anybody the way we do till now. And I will say yes, till the government hospital they have a regular set of protocols which they follow, and the same thing has to be followed by a private hospital, but it needs a training. As Dr. Maitri said, they need to train their doctors before the posting is done. It's very, very important. Even the private hospital doctors needs to be trained wherever the victim is being taken, so that once she gets the proper treatment, two, all the evidence, the way it needs to be collected, should be collected, so that there is no sorry people later on. So I will give you a protocol which is by the Government of India and which I borrowed from the Southern Hospital, which they are doing it on a regular basis for their victims. So first, I think everybody knows what a sexual assault means, which is characterized by use of force, physical threat, or abuse of authority, or when the victim does not or cannot consent. Sexual assault includes rape, non-consensual sodomy, indecent assault, or attempts to commit these acts. Sexual assault can occur without regard to gender or spousal relationship or age of the victim. The evaluation of the sexual assault victim, there's a clinical perspective of it, which the doctor has to see, and there's a detailed one. And we need to be very humble, very polite, very gentle at that time when you're talking to a victim, because it's not like she's a culprit who has been brought there. It's all her fault. First, you need to gain her confidence. Only once you are able to make a rapport with her, then she will come out with everything and will tell you. And there should not be 20 odd people in that room which is being earmarked for it. She needs to be trusted. You need to hold her hand, you need to introduce yourself first, you need to talk to her, make her comfortable, and then start. It's not that you lie down, I'm busy, I will do this, I will do that. And they rightly said, you need to have an hour with that patient. And you need to be taken off from your duty for other things at that time. Because it's a very detailed history and you need to look into each and everything one by one. So documentation of the physical findings, very important. Proper collection and handling of evidence, interpretation of these findings and presentation of findings, and then take an expert opinion. What they do is, the doctors and nursing staff have been sensitized about dealing with the sexually assaulted victims. Residents are briefed every month before they start their posting in emergencies. And because that's the first point of contact, that's an emergency. And victims are examined in a separate room which is earmarked for these cases. And this room should be a very comfortable room and not too much, otherwise what happens, people keep on knocking the door to pick up one thing from there. This room should not be used by anybody else. This room should be for this purpose only. And this should be a well-lit, quiet and private room, adequate waiting space, availability of the trained staff, a lady doctor, or if lady doctor is not available, then a lady doctor with a female nurse or a female other doctor should be there with her, and all the procedures and protocols should be there. Equipment is a wood lamp or a torch. Colposcope is a magnified microscope. If you can't see anything visually, then this gives a magnification many times. You can go up to even 30 times and you can look into the micro abrasions, micro tears, and you can pick up from that so that you can document it. Camera, you can photo document if there is some bite or something is that, some lacerations, but avoid taking the photographs of the genital areas. And there should be refrigerator and cupboard with a lock and key. There is a kit which is available which is called a SAFE kit, which is a sexual assault forensic evidence collection kit. And it's very important for the doctor should know what's there in this kit and what you need to know when a victim comes to an emergency. It's very important to give first aid to a patient whenever she arrives in an emergency and then start doing any other examinations. Once she's comfortable, you're given the first aid, shift her to that private room and then start talking. If the friends and the co-workers may support the victim, they can support the victim and they can accompany her into that room, but they will not actively participate in the forensic processes. Early consultation with the life skills for the psychological intervention may be necessary in some cases. Consent, very important. It should be informed consent. You should tell a girl why she needs to give a consent. First, to give her history, and two, examination. So you need to take a consent from her and collection of the samples. Even this consent needs to be taken from her and the treatment, all documentation